In this video, we'll discuss problems and conceptual exercises of chapter 3 from the book James Walker. So here we are given that a vector has x component minus 36 and y component 43. Two parts we need to solve. In the A part we need to find the magnitude of the vector. In the B part we need to find the angle of the vector with the positive x axis. Now the x component is negative and the y component is positive. So the vector should be in the second quadrant. Let me show it. So this would be our vector A. And this, let this angle be theta. This theta we need to find and its magnitude. So let me first represent this x and y component. So this would be its x component, ax, which is minus 36, and y component. So this would be its y component, which is 43 meter. Okay, now the magnitude, pretty simple. Magnitude we have under root ax square plus ay square. So this would be under root, this is ax we have minus 36 and it's squared, ay we have 43 and it's squared. So this comes out to be as you can use your calculator, you will get this value to be nearly 56 meter. So this would be the magnitude of a vector. Now theta. So theta, we derive this formula to be tangent inverse the vertical component ay over the horizontal component ax. So this would be tangent inverse x component, sorry, y component we have 43, x component we have minus 36. So this value comes out to be as nearly minus 50 degree. Now actually this value is true, but we need to find this theta from this positive x direction. So we need to add 180 degrees because the tangent theta repeats itself for every 180 degrees. That is, the cycle for tangent theta is 180 degrees. So we can add 180 degrees to it and this value comes out to be as 130 degree. So this actual theta is 130 degree. So you need to add this 180 according to the situation. So this would be the answer for this question. So in this question you can see this lighthouse and its height from the surface of the water is 49 feet and it extends 19 feet from its base. This distance is 19 feet. Now a sailor is standing here and it sights the top of this lighthouse at an angle 30 degrees above the horizontal, and the sailor's eye level is 14 feet above the water. This distance is 14 feet. Now what we have to calculate, we have to find the distance of the ship from the rocks. Let me show in the figure also. This distance we have to calculate, this distance. Let this distance be d. Now I'm making this triangle. This is basically a right angle triangle, A, B, C. Now this total height is 14 feet. So the distance AB, this would be 49 feet minus this distance, which is 14 feet. So that would be 35 feet. Now if let this this length be L. Now if we are able to calculate this total length L, and then if we subtract this 19 feet, we can easily calculate this distance D. So let's do it. And for that, consider the triangle ABC, and in this triangle we can write that tangent 30 degree is perpendicular over base. Perpendicular we have AB and base we have L. AB is 35 feet, L we have to calculate. So from here L will be equals to 61 feet. So this total length is 61 feet. Now if we subtract 19 from this length, we can calculate this distance d that we need to calculate. So 61 minus it's 19, so that would be 42 feet. So this would be the answer for this question. So here in this question we are given that x and y component of a vector r is, x component we have 14 meter and y component we have minus 9.5 meter. Now in the A part we need to find its direction, and in the B part we need to find the magnitude of vector r. But before I'll be drawing this this vector r. Now x component is positive and y component is negative, so it should lie in the fourth quadrant. This is positive x, this is positive y, so this would be negative y and this would be negative x, so r vector would lie here. This should be the r vector. And the x component we have 14 meter, this is the x component 14 meter, and this is the y component which is minus 9.5 meter. Now first we need to find its direction, so angle theta. So theta we studied, this is tangent inverse y over x, that is a y component over the x component. Y component we have minus 9.5 and x component is 14, so this comes out to be as minus 34 degree. Now what this minus sign indicates, it indicates this angle theta is below the x-axis, so we can write this is 34 degree below x-axis. Now next we have to find the magnitude. So magnitude would be under root x component square plus the y component squared. X component we have 14, so 14 meter and it's squared, plus y component is minus 9.5 meter and it's squared. Now we can solve this by using our calculator and we'll get this value to be 17 meter. So this would be the answer for the B part. Now next in the C part, now in the part C they are saying if Rx and Ry are double, how do you predict the answers to part A and B? So what they are saying is if this Rx is doubled, so 14 times 2, this would become Rx and Ry would become minus 9.5 times 2. Then what would be the change in angle theta and this magnitude r? It's pretty simple, we have discussed earlier also, same question. Theta would remain same. This is the part C that we are solving. And r will increase by a factor of 2. Now in the D part we have to verify our predictions in part C that we have made. Okay, so part D we have to just verify this. Now theta we know, we have theta equals to tangent inverse the y component over the x component. Now if this y and x component is doubled, so this becomes 2 times, this also becomes 2 times, so this 2 and 2 will cancel, we will get the same theta. So hence verified that theta will not going to change, theta will remain same. Now next we have to tell that how this factor, this magnitude is increased by a factor of 2. Okay, so r would be equals to under root the x component squared plus the y component squared. So x component we have this Rx has doubled, so 14 times 2 we have to take, so 14 multiplied with 2 and it's squared. Similarly here also minus 9.5 times 2 and it's squared. If you solve this you will get this value to be 34 meter, which is just double of this number, and hence verified that the magnitude will increase by a factor of 2. So in this question we are given that there is a vector A having magnitude 50 units and it points along the positive x direction. So let me represent this vector on the figure. So it points along the positive x direction, so this would be our vector A and its magnitude we are given to be 50 units. So magnitude of A is 50 units. Now next we have a vector B that has a magnitude of 120 units. So magnitude of B vector is 120 units and it points at an angle 70 degree below the x-axis. So this vector should look like this, something like that, and this angle is 70 degrees, and this is vector B. Now there are two parts in this question that we need to solve. In the A part, we have to find that which vector has greater x component. So vector A points along the positive x direction, so its x component would be 50 only. So the x component for vector A should be 50. Now next, the x component for vector B. So bx would be b cosine theta, and this theta we have taken in the clockwise direction, so it should be negative value, because actually we measure all the angles in the anti-clockwise direction from the positive x direction. So this theta should put it as minus 70 degree. So we'll get this value to be 41 units. So x component for A vector is 50 and x component for B vector is 41. So the x component for A vector would be greater than the x component for the B vector. So this would be the answer for the A part. Now next we're going to solve the B part, where we have to tell which vector has a greater y component. Now vector A points along the positive x, it have no component in the y direction, so AY would be 0. Now for this B vector, BY, it would be equals to B sine theta, and theta should be minus 70 degree. B is 120, sine minus 70 degree. We can solve this and we'll get this value to be minus 113 units. Now here you see that the magnitude of BY is greater than the AY, but it is a negative sign here. So this 0 is greater than minus 113. So we conclude that AY will be greater than BY. So this would be the answer for the B part.